Dr. Ben Laborie, tenured professor of history at Williams College, started bringing students down to Mystic in the middle of winter for January term. And they were delving into maritime history collections that the Mystic Seaport Museum had. As the story goes, they were on their way back to Williamstown for the next semester, and they ended up stopping at a Dunkin' Donuts. Students were whining to Ben about wanting to continue and spend an entire semester at Williams Mystic. His response was, well, you can't just study history the entire semester. And so what the students did is that they proposed to Ben that they add courses and that they all should be focused on the sea. And so they wrote all those ideas down on a napkin, and that's how Williams Mystic began. Since then, the program has evolved to the point where we have 1,700 alumni, and we have an amazing alumni network. You walk across the street into the Mystic Seaport Museum, and there are a number of Williams Mystic alumni who were so impacted by their experience here that they have dedicated their entire professional life to working with or on the sea.
The head of the history department at Bates College said that this program sounded so well suited to me, and that anything that Ben Laborie, the founding director, did was bound to be a really high quality, life-changing, and remarkable experience. And I just barely got in under the wire to be able to be part of the first class in the fall of 1977, and he was so right. It was an incredible way to spend a semester.
Students end up studying our coasts and oceans, looking at similar topics and issues through multiple lenses: science, literature, history, policy, and they're realizing how complex problems like climate change, commerce, and how species migrate around the world in the oceans, and the impacts that those kinds of things have on our globe.
For me, the most transformative element was that it taught us all to think expansively. They taught us to work in such ways that we've applied these basic concepts of interdisciplinary and experiential learning to our professions.
Williams Mystic is a 17-week semester. They arrive and go through a short orientation, then head off to sea. And the purpose of that is to experience life at sea as a sailor, to learn what it means to be a member of a crew. The ships we use are partner institutions.
It's just a totally immersive experience where you read about something that's happening in the news related to the oceans, and then you encounter it firsthand on these incredible field trips. And you don't only encounter it, you also have the faculty to guide you through this exploration of contemporary issues, as well as looking at history and literature.
As a faculty and staff, we're preparing them to compare the ecosystem here in Mystic and the Mystic Estuary with the West Coast ecosystem in California, the Pacific Northwest, in Alaska, southern Louisiana. And students then end up grappling with those heartfelt challenges that our coasts and oceans are presenting to those individuals as a result of climate change, land loss, and other issues. After that experience, they bring back what they've learned from their field seminars, and they are applying what they've learned to their work back here in Mystic. The Mystic Seaport Museum is an operating shipyard and museum space that is absolutely gorgeous.
If you can picture yourself on board the Charles W. Morgan, the last remaining whale ship, reading Moby Dick, that really is a very different kind of an experience than sitting in a study hall and reading Moby Dick.
And then on top of that, students will be focused on their primary research in science, perhaps looking at microplastics in shorebirds in the morning and collecting data. And then in the afternoon, they're banging on hot metal in the shipsmith's Driggs building. And where else can you balance that cognitive experience with physical? Williams-Mystic has a consortium of schools that send students to Williams-Mystic because they recognize the power and academic rigor of the program.
And now for me, in a leadership role at Mystic Seaport, I realize how valuable this program is to the museum as well as to the students and to Williams College.
I think that the Walter Cronkite Award that Williams-Mystic is receiving is acknowledgement of an amazing idea from an amazing educator, Ben Lavery, who had a vision for what a transformational experience could be.
When the students are on campus, you can just feel it, something that changes lives, that expands their vision and creates friendships and relationships that are lifelong.